Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to study Act 4 of William Shakespeare's Macbeth. First of all, let's see the overall idea of what is happening in Act 4. Act 4 is a turning point in the play. Here we see Macbeth completely transformed into a cruel tyrant. The witches deceive him using misleading prophecies, innocent people suffer, and at the same time, hope rises against Macbeth. This act clearly prepares us for Macbeth's downfall. So let's see the summary of Act 4, Scene 1. First of all, let's see the setting and atmosphere of Scene 1. Scene 1 opens in a dark cavern. The witches are gathered around a boiling cauldron, adding strange and horrible ingredients. Please make sure that go through your text and try to learn these strange and horrible ingredients. Okay, this setting creates a supernatural and evil atmosphere, showing the power of dark forces in the play. That is the intention of Shakespeare. Shakespeare intentionally add this particular part in the scene. For what? For create a supernatural and evil atmosphere. This scene revolves around Macbeth's second meeting with the witches. He calls them secret black and midnight hands and demands answers about his future. This shows that Macbeth is now completely dependent on evil powers. Next point is about the apparitions. The witches summons three apparitions. Each apparition gives a prophecy about Macbeth's future. Three prophecies appear reassuring but actually give Macbeth a false sense of security. Now let's see each apparitions in detail. First apparition. The first apparition is an armed head. It warns Macbeth to beware of Macduff. This prophecy suggests that Macduff is a serious threat to Macbeth. So next is second apparition. The second apparition is a bloody child. It tells Macbeth to be bold and fearless because no man born of woman can harm him. Macbeth misunderstands this and becomes overconfident. Next, let's see about the third apparition. The third apparition is a crowned child holding a tree. It says Macbeth will be safe until Birnam Wood moves to Dunsinane. Macbeth believes this is impossible and feels completely secure. All these apparitions assures Macbeth of his safety and raise his self-confidence to a great extent. Last of all, Macbeth asks them the pertinent question if Banquo's descendants will ever rule Scotland. He then sees a vision of 8 kings followed by the ghost of Banquo. This frightens Macbeth deeply and disturbs his mind. And this is how the scene ends. The witches disappear suddenly. Lennox enters and informs Macbeth that Macduff has fled to England. In anger, Macbeth decides to kill Macduff's wife and children, showing his extreme cruelty. And this is how scene 1 ends. Let's move to the summary of scene 2 of Act 4. And where the scene takes place? Scene 2 takes place in Macduff's castle. The focus shifts to Lady Macduff and her son, highlighting the suffering of innocent people under Macbeth's rule. Here we can see the pathetic situation of Macduff's family, especially Macduff's wife and his son. Lady Macbeth feels angry and abandoned because her husband has fled. She accuses Macduff of being careless and unloving. Rose tries to justify Macduff's action and comfort her. He tries to assure her that all her troubles will soon end. With these words of comfort, he tries to leave off her. Lady Macduff shares a playful and loving conversation with her son, but this particular moment of innocence provides emotional relief and makes the coming tragedy more painful. While mother and son are engrossed in their conversation, a messenger arrives and warns her of the approaching murderers, and this messenger warns Lady Macbeth to flee, but it's too late. Macduff's murderers enter and brutally kill the innocent child, and Lady Macduff is also murdered. This is one of the most shocking scenes in the play. And what is the significance of scene 2? This scene shows Macbeth's inhuman cruelty. Innocent lives are destroyed. It increases the audience hatred for Macbeth and justifies his punishment. Here comes the end of scene 2. Next, let's see the summary of scene 3, where the scene is taking place. Scene 3 shift to England at the court of King Edward the Confessor. Here, Malcolm and Macduff meet, representing hope and goodness. Two important instances are taking place in the scene. Here, Malcolm testing Macduff, and Macduff is able to prove his loyalty. Malcolm doubts Macduff's loyalty. He pretends to be a more wicked than Macbeth to test Macduff's sincerity. This shows Malcolm's wisdom and caution. Macduff mourns deeply for what? For Scotland's suffering. His emotional reaction proves his honesty and patriotism. Malcolm becomes convinced of his loyalty. Whose loyalty? Macduff's loyalty. And here comes the hope of victory. Malcolm reveals that he was only testing Macduff. He informs him that an English army under Seward is ready to fight Macbeth. Hope is restored there. So who comes to that scene? Rose. Rose brings tragic news. Rose arrives with a terrible news. Macbeth has murdered Lady Macduff and her innocent son. Macduff is filled with grief and anger and vows revenge. And how the scene ends? The scene ends with the decision of a march. Malcolm, Macduff and Seward decides to invade Scotland immediately. Their goal is to defeat Macbeth and restore peace and justice. And the next slide is about the themes. The major themes of Act 4 are evil and supernatural, ambition and tyranny. Third one is innocence and suffering. Fourth one is justice and retribution. These themes prepare us for the final act. To conclude, Act 4 reveals Macbeth's true nature as a tyrant. The witches deceives him, innocent blood is shed, and forces of justice rise against him. This act clearly prepares the audience for Macbeth's downfall. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon because I will be uploading English literature revision classes and live sessions before your exam. Turn on notifications so you don't miss them. If you find this class helpful, please share it with your friends and all the best for your exam.